Hello and welcome to another episode of the DTF podcast.
Hey, I got a bone to pick.
Guys, I am so fired up.
Sleep deprived and all. I'm happy to be here.
You probably cut up your hot dog. You don't need it on a bun.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the DTF podcast here on the Field of 68 Media Network. I am joined by NBC's own John Fanta. I am joined by, can I call you ESPN's own Terrence Oglesby now? Is that official? Are we allowed to say this publicly yet, T.O.?
You are allowed to say it publicly. Yes.
Yeah. Tell the people what we're talking about.
We're good to go. Now, sign my deal with ESPN. I'll be a fixture with the ACC network as well as some of the other national broadcasts on 1 and 2. I'm excited about it. We'll see how the year carries out, but papers are signed. Terrence is happy, and the Hornets start Wednesday, so I'll still be able to do that too. So it's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a busy year, and it's been a goal of mine for a while to get with the network. So to be able to get that has been pretty cool.
For
Congratulations.
Congratulations, man. Yes. And for transparency's sake, we have been waiting about 6 episodes of this pod to be able to celebrate this because it's been a little while just to get us. That's just how it works with college basketball, right? You got to get the football stuff figured out first. But yeah, we've been waiting for like 6 weeks to be able to get on here and give you your flowers a little bit. So let's go. Congrats, ESPN.
Thank you, guys.
Very, very exciting. Outstanding news. So well deserved. They just got better by bringing you in.
Well, I appreciate that. That's nice. That's nice of you guys to say. And I am happy, and I'm also incredibly thankful for you guys and guys at the Field of 68. And I'm gonna throw my wife in there too, even though she doesn't.
Yeah. You better thank her. She puts up with a lot. Puts up with a lot in that house.
Your wife, your kids, your mother.
Yeah, all of them. I'm not gonna go down a laundry list. I'm just I'm very excited, very grateful, very thankful. There you go.
Now that you have a full-time deal, we can start getting some videos similar to what your brother likes to post, right? We need some stuff like that.
We're not getting that stuff. His stuff is fun. His stuff is funny.
It is funny. It's funny. 90% of the reason that I wanted to congratulate you is I was just hoping to get a seat on the PJ when you head to the Final Four this year. So
there's no PJ. There's no PJ.
Very much commercial.
Big Ten preview today. Part of the reason we're doing a Big Ten preview today, we just did one over at On 3. Fanta just got back from the Big Ten Media Day over there in Chicago, where you got a chance to hang out with all the coaches. And you got interviewed by Fletcher Lawyer. All right, we're going to do our 5 things to know, but I got to ask you about that because that was probably my favorite piece of content that I've seen come out of Media Day. For people that didn't see it,
it was awesome.
Fletcher Lawyer went through and asked like all of the standard Media Day questions to the media. It was terrific.
Great questions, too. He came ready. He came with a list of questions. I love the idea of Fletch finds out. It's going to be fun all throughout the season. The more that programs allow their kids to go out and do stuff, and if the kid's willing to do it, it could be a lot of fun. And that was just awesome. I mean, he went up to Hummel, busted Hummel's chops, and I got to do the same in the interview, which I very much appreciated. It was really a fun time and a good time. And, guys, this is a rare situation in today's college basketball. I do think we'll continue to get it because I think certain kids are still just going to get it and certain coaches are going to be able to be on the same wavelength. But it was amazing being at Big Ten Media Day because you're walking by, and you guys have both been at enough of these media days where we're just going to be honest here. We don't know all the players by name with all the faces that we see. There are dozens of them. So it takes us a minute sometimes when they're dressed in suits and they're not wearing their team colors. It does take me a minute to put 2 and 2 together. Okay, like that's a real thing sometimes.
The other part of it is sometimes you get blinded by the chains that they have on, or blinded by the rocks that are in their ears.
How about the freaking money? Unbelievable! Yeah. I'm pretty sure Virginia Tech got paid in diamonds this year.
That's right. I mean, look, that is absolutely the case. Kevin Willard was telling me one of his kids has a $2,000 pair of pajamas. Now he was joking, but the kid was standing by him. But he's like $2,000 for a pair of PJs. I looked at the kid. I go, I didn't know there was enough fabric for those. I mean, my pajamas don't cost $2,000. But the fact is, like, what was so refreshing was you got Braden Smith, Trey Kaufman-Renn, Fletcher Lawyer walking around Big Ten Media Day. They talk the talk and walk the walk, and you can just sense it. Like, when you're covering this sport, who the best players and best teams are when they're sort of when they back it up, not in a cocky way, but just like they know what's at stake. They are leaning into it, and I love that about this trio, and I just think that somebody brought this. I've heard this and whatnot about a couple of things. Like a couple of years ago, it was the Zach Edey show, and this year it does feel like, okay, this is a Purdue as a whole. Yes, Braden Smith's at the top, but they are really a team, and it's beyond those three. It was very clear, those guys walking around, the mission that they're on. And Fletcher's not like Rob, with all the transfers now. They don't get to know the reporters and the media over the years. Mm-hmm. He was comfortable doing that because he's gotten to know us. That at its core, like, that's what I love about college basketball, and it's nice to see that it's still around a little bit there.
Yeah, you go to Purdue.
The best question was not only to you, but he hit Hummel with, "Is it Emmy or bust this year?"
Yeah, that was man. That was so good. That was so funny.
That was really good.
I texted Chris Foreman, Purdue's SID, as soon as I saw that. I was like, that was the funniest thing I think I've ever seen in a meeting.
That's how you blindside Hummel.
Is it
almost like, well, I was part of a group, Emmy.
Yeah, I know.
Like, Fletcher's like, look at him like,
yeah, you know what that's from? That's from Goodman always being on Hummel, telling him what he sucks at, and then Hummel having to be like, "Well, it was awesome." Like he immediately jumped back into it.
That was really good.
I did text Fana after I watched it, and I said, "You missed a golden opportunity." And with the transfer portal, he's like, I did add a quality transfer with my son, and I was like, you missed a good one because you could have said like, you should have. Retention's big. In the Fanta household, you got to retain your wife, make sure she doesn't enter.
I missed out on a big one. Sometimes the best gets are the ones you keep. I really missed out on that line in that interview.
Yeah, you really
next time.
All right, so
use it.
The number one thing to know in the Big Ten this year is that it's probably Purdue's year, right? Like, I think all the wins to me are kind of pointing to Purdue winning it. I've said it's national title or bust for them. I've said that I think that this is going to be the team that has the best chance of having a UConn 2024-esque kind of a season. So I'm just going to spin it here. If it goes wrong for Purdue, I want both you guys to answer this. We got about a minute and then we can move on. But T.O., fan, I want both you guys to answer this. If it goes wrong for Purdue, what is going to happen? Like, how does this kind of not work, T.O.?
Somebody, I hate to even say this, somebody like you're not healthy.
Beyond an injury, that's the obvious one. Beyond an injury. Is there a reason that this can't work?
They get the yips and can't shoot.
Yeah.
Like they get the yips and they can't throw it in the ocean with their feet in the water. That's kind of where I'm at with Purdue. Look, like Braden Smith's going to be able to find you quality shots. Fletcher Lawyer just knows his job. I don't know who their starting lineup. Was there any indication of what that could be, Fanta, while you were there?
I mean, I get the sense it's Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer. It sounds like CJ Cox right now.
Yes.
Trey Kaufman-Renn and Oscar Clough.
And then you're going to bring Jacobson off the bench, who Jacobson was really good at U19s. And then, they just have
Omar Meyer off the bench.
Omar Meyer. That's where I was going to get next. They just have so much. They have size off the bench. They have shot making off the bench. They have athleticism off the bench too, to go along with those guys. That's kind of the interesting piece. Oscar Clough, is he's going to be, dude, can you board? Does your boarding translate? Boarding usually translates, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But like, even if you get past those guys, like Riley Burgess, 6'11", pretty decent player. Like, they just have a lot in terms of just depth. And when you have the best point guard in college basketball, that helps. And there's a very real chance that he breaks the all-time career record this season.
Yes. Fanta?
Yeah, records. I mean, he's all over a bunch of historical marks that we've talked about on this show. I think what would be their only pitfall is if we see the combo, which I don't think this is going to happen, but like, to me, the key for this team is, okay, can they just get enough shot making from CJ Cox and Omar Meyer and Jakari Harris? Like, the guy's not named Smith and Lawyer. At some point, an elite defensive team is going to say, all right, we're just not going to let Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer be the ones to beat us. The problem is then Trey Kaufman-Renn could beat you. Trey Kaufman-Renn could be an All-American. I mean, look at the numbers.
He was last year. Yeah, like, he was 13. Yeah, exactly. It's great. Like, that's the wildest part about all this. I'm sorry to cut you off in it, but the wildest part about all of this is that Trey Kaufman-Renn was an All-American last year that is returning to the same school, and it feels like nobody is talking about him. Like in any other year, if he didn't have Braden Smith as a teammate, it would be like, TKR's got a chance to be National Player of the Year. Like, he's been that good. You average 20-7 in the fucking Big Ten, and you come back to the same pro. Like, it just, they're so good, man.
That's right. It's just complimentary shot making. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. Staying committed on the defensive end of the floor. Last year, ultimately, I mean, they almost got past Houston in a hell of a game.
Oh, that was a great game.
Great tournament game. It was 62-60, and they dug in defensively. But if you asked Painter earlier in the season what was leading to this team's struggles, I mean, look at the Big Ten quarterfinal. They lost 86-68 to Michigan. And by the way, like, I think that Purdue is the clear favorite in this league. But maybe my hot take is I don't think the gap is as big as people are saying.
Okay, we'll get to that because I have something on that.
But to me, complimentary shot making, and then Braden Smith, when people say we're not going to, I mean, you can't really say we're not going to let you pass the ball because he just beats that anyways. But in the instances where people are able to defend that and say, we're going to take away the passing lanes from you, how do you beat us with your shot making? As long as he avoids that type of cold shooting performance. I mean, how many times have we seen it in the history of college basketball? Terrence, like Adam Morrison just had that bad day where he just couldn't make a shot. Or
that's the whole issue. It's that one bad day.
One day.
Which is the greatness and the pain in the ass about the whole.
That's it. So, I mean, I love this team, and they're the front runner to win the national championship.
Yep. And they're not going anywhere, man. Omer Mayer's a bad boy too, and once he's be able to slide it to the one spot, he's bigger and shoots it well.
And they're cleaning up on the recruiting trail. Like,
I was told in Chicago, do not overreact to November to Mayer. In other words, they think they believe the hype. They are very, very hyped about him. I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks in, if he has a couple of those games where he's becoming accustomed, and everybody goes, he didn't live up to the expectations I had.
Well, he's a 15.
The speed's different. And
look,
it's not as clean. It's not as good.
Yep.
The speed is faster.
And let's get in front of this.
You're putting stuff on freaking fast forward mode. And
yeah. And let's get in front of this, okay? Omer Mayer is a freshman coming in from Israel who is going to be playing a backup role. The expectation for him should be 15 minutes a game, especially in November, with flashes where you're like, oh, okay, I can see it now. But the expectation is 15 minutes a game. He's coming off the bench. Like, the expectation should not be 14-6 for him like he would if he was at a different program. Let's put the expectations there. As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. The college basketball season will begin right here on the Field of 68. At 8 a.m. on November 3rd, we will be tipping off the inaugural Field of 68 opening day marathon. 15 hours of non-stop basketball. It will begin in Rock Hill, presented by our friends at Visit York County. Plan your itinerary today at visityorkcounty.com. Winthrop will face off with Queens in the opener, followed by Bradley taking on St. Bonaventure. Then we head out to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where it'll be presented by Sanford Sports, who is changing the way people play and making sports accessible and fun for all. Murray State gets Omaha at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, with Drake taking on Northern Arizona in the second game in Sioux Falls. Then it's back to Rock Hill for a showdown between Furman and High Point, with Merrimack taking on South Dakota State in Sioux Falls in the nightcap. Tickets for all 6 games are on sale now at the links in the description below. Field of 68, opening day. Second thing that I want to talk about here is the race for second place, I think, is wide open. And even counted to a larger point, I think that there are like 12 teams, 13 teams that can get into the tournament for the Big Ten this year. Like, I think it'll probably be closer to the 10, 11 number and who gets in. But I have 13 teams in my mind that I think of that are capable of getting there. For me, the second best group, the next tier, is Michigan, UCLA, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Washington. TO. Now it changes a little bit because the
Washington.
The Agnasevich kid hurt his foot. So like,
who?
They're starting 4. The kid from Lipscomb, he's a shooter, hurt his foot. He's going to be out until January, which kind of hurts their spacing a little bit. But I really like that Washington program. So I think it's those next 5. And you could tell me any order you want, TO, and I'll probably I would not push back in that next group of 5 teams.
Yeah, look, there's not a whole lot that I can argue with there either. I do really like Washington. I think they're going to be good. And like, I was watching Hannes Steinbach at Germany, and he was the best player at the U19 for Germany on a team.
Break him down. Break down his game for me.
He's as wide as a door, and he's skilled, and he moves, and he's pretty athletic. Like, he's a big German dude who's pretty athletic. So, and he's got good skill, and you go to play for Danny, who we all know, like, he can put guys in position. So he's got the horses at Washington, like an underrated, really good class and good transfer portal pickups at Washington. Like, they're tournament bound in my mind. I like so Washington too. A lot.
One more thing on Steinbach. Is he like, when you say skilled, is he like a throw it to him on the block back to the basket guy? Is he faces people up and can play from like 15, 17 feet? Is he a knockdown to 3? Is he like a get you into an offense guy? Like, just kind of, where is he on your mind, that like kind of 4-5 scale?
I don't have his shooting numbers right in front of me from the U19s, but I just remember how, like, he was able to put it on the deck and straight line drive at his size, and he's like 6'11". The shot isn't broken, and he just found ways to be effective consistently. Mm-hmm. And sometimes even against like Kobe. So like, physically, he's ready to go. I'm excited to see this team. I think the entire team is going to be really good. The kid they added from East Tennessee State, I had a couple years ago, Kamari Peterson, really good, average almost 20 points a game. And then you add the 2 kids from Southern Cal. Like, this is a pretty good squad. And here's what I really like about, like, the makeup of the roster. And I'm sure Sprinkle's going to do this, but like the unsung McDonald's All-American from last year, who doesn't do all the cute shit, he just does winning shit, is JJ Mandequit.
Yes.
Like, that guy understands how to play. He's just a dream to watch as a basketball head, because he does all those little things. Like, he cuts across the belly of the defense. If you're trying to press him, he gets the ball, he advances the ball, he cuts to the other side. Like, he'll do some things every now and then because that'll make you scratch your head, because athletically he's not like fantastic, but like, he just does stuff to change the flow of a game. And I just like their versatility I really like their versatility as a roster. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it goes. But I think they're a tournament team, and I think Washington, you want Washington to be good.
Yep.
Oh, it'll be a lot of fun. Get that building going again. Though they've got a terrific fan base. When they're winning, it's a very, very difficult place. I mean, even when they're not winning, it's a hard place to win. But when they're winning, that place gets crazy. It feels like the students are on top of you. Washington, that's a good storyline. The West Coast teams are going to make some noise. I mean, UCLA could be a top 10 team. Donovan Dent, guys, could be, if it's not Braden Smith, you know, because Braden Smith's going to get Player of the Year, and Trey Kaufman will probably finish second, but Donovan Dent is going to be right in the mix for an All-American type season if things pan out to the way that they think that they could pan out in Westwood. And I can't wait to see him with Eric Daly and Tyler Bilodeau. Oregon, like Jackson Shellstad, I know he's banged up a little bit, but when he gets healthy, Nate Biddle's back. Nate Biddle was at Media Day, guys. I was like this when he walked in the room.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
I'm like, you are a house. You are a house. And, you know, Coach Altman, his teams always find a way to the tournament. Can his team be a top 15 to 20 team? We get ripped on. We get ripped on because everybody thinks we just got this East Coast bias. No, we don't. We've been talking West Coast basketball for the last 3 minutes. We think that all these teams, one, are tournament teams, and two, are going to be disruptors in this league. But I'm going to tell you the team from Media Day. I know we're going a little off track here. The team from Media Day that I think everybody's sleeping on again. You had him in your tier. Great guard, man.
Yeah.
John Blackwell is going to have a huge year, and you know it by the kid's swagger and confidence. How does Wisconsin's offensive evolution should be studied? They have become one of the most refreshing watchers in the sport. Blackwell's a stud. Greg Gard told me Nick Boyd's fit right in. The Badgers are going to be really good. The fact is, I think, Rob, when you said it, the question I would have, the follow-up to your point is the Big Ten college basketball's best conference this year?
Ooh, on paper, I think that it actually might be, and that feels kind of harsh to say towards the SEC because of what the SEC did last year. But there was a lot of retention in the Big Ten. They brought back a lot of really key All-American caliber guys, and I think you saw more turnover in the SEC. I think it's deeper, and I think that you have the best team in the Big Ten. I think that that's going to be the best league in America this year. I mean, it's going to be the Big Ten and the SEC, and then everybody else for the most part. But
I'll be honest, I get a little frustrated with Oregon because it's like we talk about them and they're talented every year. And
I don't see it with Oregon this year.
They're just like that's where 5 stars go to get forgotten. You go to Oregon.
Oh,
yeah. My issue with Oregon
harsh.
is you have a great point guard.
Am I wrong though? Like,
you have a great point guard. You have like a quintessential 3-and-D rim protecting 5-man in Nate Biddle, right? You have the two things that you need, and what you should have surrounded him with was a bunch of 3-and-D guys that can make threes and are switchable, right? And then you have the perfect kind of lineup for modern basketball. And I just don't think that they did that. I don't think that they have enough shooting and enough skill and enough talent in the 2 through 4 spots to be able to be better than get a bid to the tournament kind of a thing. That's where I'm at with Oregon. I think that they're a 30 to 40 team in America and probably in the 9 to 12 range in this conference, which is good. It's not bad. They're good.
Where 5 stars go to get forgotten, man.
Yeesh.
Where you go. You go to.
But you know what? The league, if it's not the best,
if it's not on Wisconsin real quick. I'm sorry, Fanta. The change came because they hired the dude from the New Zealand guy.
Yes.
Kirk Penny. So they hired Kirk Penny to redo what they do offensively and how they play, and you saw a big impact the last couple of years. And then Kirk Penny left this summer to go. I believe he's going back to New Zealand. So that's, if there's a big X factor in this conference, to me, it's how does Wisconsin continue this offensive evolution without the guy that kind of instilled that offense? And I think they're going to be fine. Greg Gard.
Coach Gard has the recipe. Yeah. I think Coach Gard can put the cake in the oven.
And just wait until Nolan Winter takes a big step this year. With Michigan. So Michigan is a really interesting one to me because I think that,
man, I don't want to talk about Michigan. I want to talk about the Eastern Bloc bullies, man. That's who
we will. That's a whole section.
I want to talk about Illinois.
That's a whole section itself. That's the third section. Okay. Can we stick to the rundown?
No.
I took 7 minutes last night to put together a rundown for you. 7 of my hard-earned minutes. I took 7 minutes away from spending time with my wife to be able to put down this rundown. And we can't even stick to it.
Bench warning.
But on Michigan,
your wife wanted you to use more minutes.
Yeah, right. On Michigan, they're doing this 3 big experiment where they're going to try, and I've heard this over and over again, so I believe it. They're going to try Yaxel at the 3 with Adai Mara at the 5 and Morris Johnson at the 4. And I don't know where the spacing is going to come from, but I think what Dusty's trying to do is say that in the Big Ten, you got to be big and physical and have some bullies. And he's saying we're going to have the biggest, the most physical bullies that you can find. I think people are expecting Yaxel to come in here and be like a 20-point, 12 rebound, 5 assist guy. And I think that he's a little bit more of a blend piece than people realize. I don't think that he is the alpha go take over a game kind of a player. I think he's the guy that will roll out of bed and get you 15, 10, and 4 assists and probably be your best defender. But I don't think he's going to come out here and have these monster blow up games. It's Okay, I hesitate to use this comparison because it's going to get. I know what your face is going to be when I say it, but do you remember how Cooper Flagg at the start of the year was doing all of these great winning things and putting up like 14, 12, 3, 3, and 3 or something like that? I think that Yaxel will be a little bit closer to that than a guy that's going to go out and get 30-point blow up games, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Heard it here first.
That makes sense. All right.
Heard it here first.
Thing to know number 3, we got some Eastern Bloc bullies.
Man, I want to say something about Michigan.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, you
know what, Tio? Hold on. I'm out. It's your show now. Wherever you want to go, Terrence.
Hey, if they're gonna be huge at the 3, 4, 5 and do some of those things, like I kind of like it with Roddy Gale Jr. and Amari Burnett, like at the 2, and then the quickest guy probably in the league at the 1 at Elliott Cadeau.
Force turnovers, get rebounds, get out and run. You got the best transition point guard in the country. Like, I see what Dusty's doing. Like, I see it, man. I'm in. Like, I think I think they're real.
Top 10 team. No question about it. They're top 10 team.
Top 10 team for Michigan.
Yes. They're a top 10 team. They are.
Because
Lenborg has All-American in his makeup. And I think that they're going to unlock a new side of Elliott Cadeau. And Dusty wasn't going to disparage Hubert Davis. He didn't do it. But I did say to him, have you been able to find out new things about Elliott Cadeau that you didn't just know watching on tape? And he said, yes. He goes, I need that. I need that burst. I need that pace. And he wasn't being insulting. Like, I want to make that very, very clear. But like, when you go somewhere different, a coach is going to use you differently than the prior one. And I think that Elliott will become a tougher player, will become a more structured player in this system. But they need every great team needs somebody. Every great team needs somebody that can get you out of your structure and provide the burst. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be able to do that. Roddy Gale back. Namari Burnett, I expect to be really, really solid. I think LJ Kaysen could actually take a leap as terms of a bench player. But Morez Johnson and Yaxel Lenborg, like, you've got those guys and you've got Mara. Come on, man. Like, this is... how about this? Are we just forgetting the fact that they rolled to a Big Ten tournament title last year? They won a Big Ten tournament title in his first year on this job.
Yeah, we kind of glossed over that a lot, don't we?
We glossed over that a lot. Like, they beat Purdue by 18 points in the Big Ten tournament last year. They can win the national championship. The Michigan Wolverines can win the national frickin' championship.
I agree. I think they're like very clearly a Final Four team. I also think very clearly that Illinois is a Final Four caliber team. That's thing to know number 3, Tio. Talk about the European invasion, the invasion of the Eastern Bloc in Champaign.
I think I called this a couple of years ago.
You did.
They're going to have like 23-year-old dudes coming over and trying to be freshmen. Yeah, that has happened. No, hey, look, huh?
They're not trying to be.
Yeah,
they are.
They are. Here's the crazy part: like size, skill, shooting, everything, you name it. Illinois is going to be in the mix. I kind of keep going back to sometimes you get mixed results from some of these guys when they come over. That's like, you can be a really good player in the Adriatic League and then you come over and like the speed smacks you in the mouth. I do think, though, if there's a league, and it's changed over the last couple of years, if there's a league where some of these Euros can come over and have success, it is the Big Ten because of the physicality of the league collectively. So I think that actually helps their case here because they've played against this level of physicality. But my God, like, you want to talk about going all in on one pool? My favorite one was when they did the pronunciation thing. Did you guys see this? They did the pronunciation and they had Ty Rodgers at the end, which was kind of funny. But to me, that wasn't the funny part. The funny part was how they introduced themselves, which was the most Eastern Bloc way ever to introduce themselves. They walked up, "Hello, my name is Mahalo Puerto Rico." And then the next guy was like, and then it was the next one. It was like,
you can't understand.
Every one of them mumbled through their own name. Pronounce them if you mumble through your own name. So like that was kind of the funny thing to me. But I do think like big, skilled, it's going to be I'm really intrigued to see how this goes because this isn't like adding a piece or two. This is throwing them all in the mix. And like that, if this goes well, you're going to see even more because there's more players over there. I think this is a case study for the rest of college basketball right now.
Yeah. Want to know what I think about it? I think
yes, please.
I don't think that any of the imports, the freshman imports, are going to be in the starting lineup this year.
So you don't think Petrovic is going to be in the starting lineup?
I think that the best freshman on Illinois' team is going to be Keaton Wagler. Now, maybe this is just the hype machine coming out of Champaign, getting out of control. But this dude, like, I have been told.
Is this CJ Moore?
No, it's not. It's not just CJ. CJ Moore.
CJ lived down the road from this kid, Fanta.
Yeah, like his son played with Keaton Wagler, but
number one player in the state of Kansas.
And some of this is, unless something changed while I was on stream for one of these media days, I believe Petrovic is still waiting for official clearance from the NCAA. So it might be because of this. But Keaton Wagler, there's a non-zero chance that he is Illinois' starting point guard this season at 6'6". Petrovic, they are, when you say he passes a little bit like Andre Curbelo, I think is a little bit of a red flag. That's one thing that I've heard coming out of Illinois, which is probably not the greatest thing in the world. But I think Keaton Wagler is going to be that dude. Remember how Will Riley took him a little while to get going, and then once he did, we were like, okay, that dude he's playing basketball a little bit of.
I think Will Riley had 30 points in his first game, and then after that, like, huge dip, and then found his rhythm at the end. Right?
Their first game was like Chicago State or something like that. But yeah, I think
30's 30.
Yeah, I think Keaton's the kind of guy.
That's the men's league I'm playing in. 30's 30.
Yeah, we look up in February and we're like, okay, Keaton Wagler might be the guy for Illinois.
Good Andre Curbelo, Fanta, if you remember correctly. Good Andre Curbelo is an All-American.
Yeah, but the problem is it's kind of like but here's the issue there. Okay, like that is
field of 68 All-American.
Yeah,
first
Andre Curbelo is kind of like the Josh Gordon of college basketball. So Josh Gordon was a receiver who just could not stay out of trouble in Cleveland, and like the guy would get suspended for 10 games. Then come back and ball out in one game and then get suspended for another 12. Okay? It was amazing. He would literally come back for a week or two, play well. Curbelo,
not just play well, like 10 catches, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then get suspended again.
No, I mean, Andre Curbelo, I'm just trying to think. It's like some not to be disparaging, but like he's got some Charlie Sheen in him. Like Charlie Sheen at his best on the screen was phenomenal. But he's out of his mind. I mean, it just didn't work. Like I can't believe that we're talking about this right now.
Andre Curbelo is college basketball Charlie Sheen.
Because you didn't know what to expect. And then Mike Anderson brings him in, and the best Curbelo story is that before a game that he was suspended for, he was in the media room eating Qdoba with the writers. He sat down next to Zach Braziller and Roger Rubin, and he's like, these chips are pretty good. And they're like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm out tonight. Then he's like in the stands having a popcorn watching the game.
I respect that.
Juggling. We could fill a 4-part.
If you're suspended, just because you're suspended doesn't mean you have to be hungry. You know what I mean? That's where I stand with that. Just because you're suspended doesn't mean you can't eat.
Did you guys see the Charlie Sheen documentary? Have you watched that yet on Netflix?
I don't have Netflix.
What?
I gave up my Netflix subscription for a Peacock subscription.
Okay, there you go. I love it. Love it.
All right, we're in. Let's go. Gotta watch Fanta, baby.
Welcome to it. Welcome to it.
Athlete AI is the story of an athlete. And every athlete deserves to have his story told. Under the lights and in the spotlight. This is your moment, your room. Download, capture, create, share. Athlete AI. Your name is trending.
There is no sport in America that is more difficult to follow than college basketball. It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for injury updates, recruiting news, and transfer portal additions that actually matter. For just $50 a year, get access to the same information that your favorite team's coaching staff is subscribed for. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help you with that. Thing to know, number 4, new man in charge in Indiana, Fanta. What do you think of Darren DeVries and what he's built in Bloomington?
I thought this was number 3.
It was, but you were so desperate to talk about Illinois that I flip-flopped 3 and 4.
It's like the Shaq and Charles bit. What's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, not 1, 2, back to 1.
Dumbass.
Hey Chuck, where they going? Galveston in that dirty water.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect. I think that Darren DeVries is a good hire by Indiana and is going to get things going in the right direction with that program, and he's going to be a ball coach. So, I want to make that very clear. I like the hire. I'm tempering my expectations for this first year. My gut says that they're going to be hovering around the bubble. That's just kind of where I stand with this team, because I'm a little bit unsure of what happens on the interior, where I look at the Big Ten and I'm like, there are all these teams with some really strong front courts and size and just can overwhelm you. I hope Indiana can be a team that spreads you out defensively and impacts the game from the perimeter and can hit shots often. Like Lamar Wilkerson, there's a lot of praise. There's a lot of hype. Tatum Connerway running the point. We'll see here. They brought in Connor Enright, but he's got injury history, and I like the kid. This is the Big Ten's even a different level from the Big East. It just is right now in terms of physicality.
From a night to night perspective, absolutely.
Night to night. Yep. Nick Dorn, again, different level. Of course, the counter argument is, yeah, but Tucker DeVries is walking through that door, and they have Tucker DeVries and the other team doesn't. And Tucker DeVries is fully healthy and ready for a big year. And the way that Tucker DeVries was talking at Media Day, he's got plans to lead this team to the NCAA tournament. So, Rob, you talk about like the 13 teams and all those. Do I think Indiana gets a bid? If I had to vote on it, I'll say yes. I'll say yes, that they find their way there. But I'm tempering it. Like, I think it would not surprise me. You guys push back if you think I'm wrong. Like, I kind of see them in an 8-9 game in the NCAA tournament in this first year.
I think that's where
fine.
They are, with a little bit of upside in the sense that if Reed Bailey,
he's good, man,
can be, so he's terrific offensively, and I think Indiana, there's a real chance Indiana can be like a top 10 offense in college basketball with the shooters that they have and with the playmaking that they have at the 5. They're going to start Connor Enright next to Connerway too, so they're going to have basically 4 around 1, and Reed Bailey's going to be playing out on the perimeter. Like, there's going to be a lot of like space it out actions like that. But if Bailey can be like an impactful rim protector and rebounder, I think that they got a chance to be a little bit better than that. But there's also, like, I'm a little bit worried about the fact that you got so many shooters out there that have not really proven the ability to go create their own. And I think Connerway is a really good player. I don't know if he's a full-blown set the table, make things easier for everybody else point guard. I think he's like a downhill, get to the rim, going to try to score first kind of a guy at his core. So I think you're right. 8-9 game is probably about what I expect for Indiana.
And that's fine for year one.
Yeah.
Like, again, the prior plan was there was no plan. And you're not a tournament program, and you should be because you're paying for it, and you have the talent. Like, I think Darren's going to do a good job. If a year from now we're like, yeah, they made the tournament, they were in an 8-9 game, hopefully they win the game. Like, it's okay. Like, Indiana could guess what? Guess who else was in a first round game and got blown out last year and then becomes like a Final Four contender this year? Ding ding ding, Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana could do that. I believe in Darren. I think for Darren, the biggest thing is like he's got to find a way to get some signature moments in Assembly Hall this year and get things back in this. I want them to be likable. And I think that he will be. I think that they will be. I think there's like some like he's such a he's a great ball coach. I like Darren's personality. He's not this type A personality necessarily like when you first meet him, but I think he's got it in him to fire this crowd up. I think he's going to fire these kids up, fire this fan base up. But I think it's going to take a little bit of time. And if in year one they could just make the tournament, Terrence, that's, again, the alternative was dysfunction. What happened prior to him was dysfunctional and not successful.
Yeah, I think I remember talking to a head coach saying it's the worst when you turn around and look at your boosters and you can't score. That's not going to be the case for Indiana. I think there's going to be a lot of games that they're going to be in that it's going to be really fun to watch, especially at Assembly Hall, which is an awesome venue. But it's like, yeah, they're going to be able to score. Nick Dorn's a good player. I had a couple of games for him last year. It's just like, in theory, this roster works out really well. Reed Bailey is really good, and he's a really good passer, and they have a bunch of skilled players, which is what DeVries has done really well with while he's been coaching. So the roster fits him. How do they adjust? I'm curious, but you almost hope on a night-to-night basis that your offense is just better than your defense, like or better than the other team's offense, if that makes sense.
Here's the comp that I'll make, right? Last year,
Yeah.
Purdue was a 4 seed. They had a top 10 offense, and they were a top 50-ish kind of a defense, right? Last year, UConn was an 8 seed that had a top 15 offense, and for most of the year was outside the top 100 defensively, figured it out, finished around like the top 75, top 80 defense. Iowa had a top 15 offense, never figured it out defensively, hovered around 500, and was 7-13 in the Big Ten. That's kind of depending on what you're going to be defensively, I think those are the outcomes that you could be looking at if you're Indiana. If you end up being a good defense, you got a chance to be a top 4 or 5 kind of a seed. If you're a good enough defense, you're going to make the tournament as an 8 seed. If you can't figure it out on that end, then you're going to score a lot of points, put up a lot of numbers, and hover around 500 for the most of the
And
year.
end up at the crown.
And end up in the crown. Thing to know, number 5, it was the West Coast is back, and we already kind of talked about that, but I do just want to say one thing on Donovan Dent, and I'm going to go to my bold prediction here. I think that there is a very real possibility that Donovan Dent can be the Big Ten Player of the Year this year, and in the National Player of the Year conversation. And I say that because I think that you have the best paint touch point guard in college basketball, who's a pass first guy, on a team where your 4-man is a skilled 4-man that can step out and make threes, and your 5-man is Tyler Bilodeau, who can step out and make threes, and you have one of the most underrated glue guy 3-and-D perimeter players in Sky Clark, who really kind of embraced this complementary role last year. And then Jamar Brown is the perfect addition to bring in to this kind of a setup because of the way that he plays, the shot making, the toughness, how he guards, his mindset. And if you're telling me that you're going to be able to create that much space in the paint for Donovan Dent, T.O., and you're going to put him in ball screens and let him go, I think he could be like a 20-point, 7-assist kind of a guy. And I really do think that UCLA is on the verge of like the top 10. Probably closer to the top 15 for me, but I think that there's like Final Four potential there.
I'm looking. They only play Purdue once at home.
Mm-hmm.
That helps.
And they'll only play once, if whether it's there or at their place.
Yeah, right. But like that, that's going to be must-watch TV at 10 p.m. on January 20th.
In a game that will be on Peacock.
Ooh, It will be. Subtle plug. Donovan's really good. I've seen him for several years now. He's really good. Can he be National Player of the Year or First Team All-American? Maybe. Big Ten Player of the Year is strong. It's just because it's been a Braden Smith run league for so long now.
And Zach Edey.
And
Zach they're contending for how many programs can say that they've won 4 straight Conference Player of the Year awards?
Not many.
It's crazy.
I would imagine Duke's done it.
Yeah, I'm
maybe
sure
North Carolina. Maybe more
have.
North Carolina back in their heyday.
Maybe Kansas.
Way back in their heyday.
It's crazy when you think about it. Like generational, I would say Zach Edey is the best player that I've seen in college basketball since I've been doing this. And there's a real chance that Braden Smith ends up being the best point guard that we've seen in college basketball, probably since Bobby Hurley. And those guys back.
That's a great Yeah, it's a really good comp.
to me, when I look at this league, we're done with our 5 things?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now he's got another 5. He's about to just pop on us for the last 10
Well,
minutes.
just going to do some power rankings, some preseason awards, and you guys got to give us a bold prediction out here.
I do think, I mean, we have not even talked about in his 31st season, Thomas Izzo.
Well, all right. So hold on real quick.
How dare you not put
tiers, power rankings. Number
Freaking
1.
Unbelievable.
Number 1 is Purdue. He did 5 things that he didn't include. One of the greatest coaches ever.
Well, hold on. I had a plan. Power rankings. Number 1 is Purdue. Contenders for the next tier is Michigan, UCLA, Wisconsin, Illinois, Washington. That's my order. Then you come to that next group, and I think it's Michigan State, who for me would have been in that next tier up if Caleb Glenn did not tear his patellar tendon. I think that losing Caleb Glenn is a big one.
I've seen that injury in live action. That is not a fun one.
Oh, it's gross. And then Iowa for me are the 2 ones right there. I think that both of them are going to be tournament teams. I have a hard time seeing the upside. Losing Caleb Glenn was a huge one, like a 3/4 guy that could shoot, that could rebound, that could defend. He's like your quintessential Tom Izzo guy, and not having him is a big blow.
Watch out for the Hawkeyes.
All right, so talk to me about him. Why?
Sturtsy.
It's Sturts. I mean, it's the Bennett Sturts show, and I think Bennett Sturts working with Brendan Hawson, who now, he's been around the block at a couple of programs. He has not been a part of winning basketball much, but I think now, he's played for Kyle Neptune. He played on a Kansas State team that frankly just they weren't connected. They were not connected. This team will be connected because it starts with an All-American in Bennett Sturts. And I mean, he could be and this is saying a lot, he could be a top 4 player in the league, top 5 player in the league. Like that, there's a very real possibility that happens. He's that talented. Hawson's a shot maker. I think that they're high on Alvaro Figueres at the 4. Could kind of be a matchup problem at times. But when you look at Ben McCollum, and this is what's so fascinating about Iowa and this league this year, is that in the midst of all the returning experience, what happens in a league when returning experience gets confused at all? An influx of first-year coaches who are doing something very different from what their prior coaches were doing. So I think that's the depth of the Big Ten. Like, that's why I'm intrigued more with this league this year, because McCollum's style is wear you down, make you work defensively. We're going to be deliberate. We're not going to turn the ball over. That's going to play in the Big Ten, guys. Like that is Big Ten basketball to a T. Cam Menyawu, if Cam Menyawu can pan out to the degree that they think he could, then I like the mix of, okay, they've got an absolute star in the backcourt. Hawson's a shot maker. And if their front court can just hold up with these other Big Ten front courts, why not Iowa? I think they are a tournament team. I think Ben McCollum has a chance to really make some noise in his first year. Guys, if you look at Ben McCollum's track record, and I can pull it up, but I'm not going to pull it up here as I'm ranting about this. Are you really going to doubt this man at this point? If you look at his track record, he has won virtually everywhere he's been. And T.O. last year, all he does is walk into the Charleston Classic and he's like, yeah, I got the best team here. Like we're just going to play our way. He is smart. He is driven. He is ready for this challenge. And with a star like Sturts, as long as Iowa's got somebody in their backcourt that can be a shot maker, they're not going to make mistakes. The Hawkeyes, to me, could end up being in your tier 2. In fact, I'd move Washington to tier 3 with some of their injury issues, and I'd move Iowa into tier 2.
I could see it. Like I wasn't my biggest thing with Iowa is just like you make the leap up from Division II to the Missouri Valley with the same kind of guys, right? With a bunch of Division II guys, like with all due respect, a bunch of guys that started their career at the Division II level, and I think it works at the Valley. The Big Ten is just a different level of athleticism, so I could see it happening. I just think it's going to be a little bit more difficult. All that said, Bennett Sturts averaged 19, 5, and 6 last year, playing at the slowest pace in America. Like that dude, in terms of like points per possession that he had, was off the freaking charts, man. Like he's going to be really good. Next tier for me was the tournament caliber teams. I had Indiana. We talked about them. 9th. Ohio State 10th, Oregon 11th, Maryland 12th, USC 13th. I don't see it with USC. I think they spent a whole bunch of money to downgrade on Wesley Yates and Des Claude. Maryland, I want to see Miles Rice do well. And I see what they're doing. I think it's going to take a year for Buzz to have them be more than just a bubble team this year. Ohio State's the interesting one.
They are interesting. I was going to bring them up.
Yeah. So I think this is a huge year for Bruce Thornton to kind of prove that he is a winning basketball player. Because I think in terms of stats, he's as good as any point guard that you're going to find in the league, right? But he's never won. And I think this is a year for him to kind of prove that he can be he can change his legacy this season if it works out for them.
Man, their small guards are pretty good.
Yeah, Mobley too.
Bruce Thornton, Mobley Jr., Gabe Cupps transfers in. Like Gabe Cupps just got hosed.
I feel bad for him, man.
He just made a bad decision coming out of high school, playing for him. But no, I mean, like I think
we can laugh about it now.
Yeah, he was such a piss poor college coach.
All right.
Unbelievable.
We don't have to bury him.
I will bury his college coaching career, no problem. No, here's they are interesting though. They're talented. Is this make or break this year for Ohio State for that staff? I'm very intrigued to see how this goes. I think it's very
got to make the tournament.
Got to make the tournament with this roster. Got to make the tournament.
Which they should.
Yeah,
yes.
they should. They
make
have
the tournament.
It's Ohio State, man. It's Ohio State. You have your pick.
That's the thing. Like you say, they should make the tournament. Well, like they have a top 25 roster in the sport. Like we're not like putting pressure on them, or like they have the bodies to be able to. Like this is a tournament team.
Yes,
you got to dance if you got a tournament team.
By the way, they've started like November, December. It's been great for them.
Yep.
Then they get into the league, and the leagues cause problems. So they got to overcome that.
That's where the criticism of Bruce is kind of coming over the years. All right. I got to make sure we mention everyone. Bubbly at best. Nebraska, Rink Mass is back. He's a stud. Northwestern 15. Nick Martinelli is a stud. Minnesota, they got Kate Tyson.
He is 28. A stud.
He had 28 last night in an exhibition against North Dakota State.
Martinelli is a stud. Hey, by the way, quick side note, love Nico Medved. I thought Cade Tyson going there was freaking perfect.
Yes.
Like perfect.
They're going to beat some teams.
They are. They're the team that if they don't win in the non-conference, they're the team that's going to stick it to you in league play. So just keep an eye out for how Minnesota does.
Wait. We'll prediction.
They're the Georgia Tech of this league, in my opinion.
Terrence first, then Rob second. Terrence.
Okay.
Will Nico Medved snap Minnesota's NCAA tournament drought at some point in his tenure?
At some point, yes, he will.
Not this year.
But he's the answer. Yes. He is the answer at the barn.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's get the barn. Let's get the barn going again.
Might be the only person who wants that job. I'm not. Who wants that job to stay at that job? Let me clarify.
Yeah, it's a good point. No.
That's where he went to school.
Job.
That's where he went to school.
Job.
Yes. He's a Minnesota guy. So 17, Penn State, Caden Mingo. It's going to be an awesome point guard, awesome freshman. And then Rutgers, I'm struggling. Give me something good about Rutgers, T.O. Darren Buchanan. Darren Buchanan, when we saw him at A10 Media Day 2 years ago, was just awesome personality. Rutgers fans are going to really like him.
It's going to get back to Pico basketball. I mean, Jermichael Davis is back. You know, they seem to like Dylan Grant quite a bit. I think that you're going to see them, return to the type of play that he wants, which is grind you down, use the rack to your advantage. They're another team that, like, the interesting thing about Rutgers is they don't really load up their non-con. And so as a result, I mean, they're in players era. But
just win a couple games. That's all you got to do if you're
Rutgers. But that's the thing. Like,
some games, figure it out. Get it
going
in the right direction.
A coach was saying to me, like, in the Big Ten, you could play 20. You play 15 quad one games.
Yep.
So, like, yes, there are a couple of teams that you're like, man, their non-conference wasn't great. It's like, well, guess what? They actually benefited from the rest of the league bringing them up.
Yep. All right. Preseason awards, player of the year.
Hold on. Underrated pickup for Rutgers, Bayfall.
Yes.
If there's somebody who can get the best out of Bayfall, Steve Peichel.
Yes. Boom. He's a former 5-star guy, was a top 10 recruit at one point. Player of the year, got to be Braden, right?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
It would start with, if it wasn't him, who would it be?
Yeah. Freshman of the year, Hannes Steinbach. You got pushing back on that with anybody? I think he's going to have a very big year. Transfer of the year.
Depends on what we call a freshman.
Right.
Fair enough. Transfer of the year, I went with Donovan Dent. You can go with Bennett Sturts. You can go with Yaxel. You can go with a half dozen other guys.
Bennett Sturts for me.
Yep.
Yaxel and DeBoer.
There you go. So you can go with 3 different guys.
Yeah, that's why this league's so good.
Yeah. Coach of the year, I didn't want to go with Painter because like that feels too easy. So I just went with Greg Gard. I think Wisconsin's going to be very good. Bold prediction.
Danny Sprinkle.
There you go. I like. Hey, that's a good one actually. Bold prediction. Fanta, give me a bold prediction.
I was actually giving thought to the coach of the year question. I'll go super out of left field and say Jake Diebler. It hits. Ohio State connects, and they become a top 5 team in this league, and he finds a way. Bold prediction. Well, I mean, it shouldn't be bold, but Big Ten snaps their 25-year national championship drought, and they have multiple Final Four teams. They have 2 Final Four teams. 2.
Who? Pick them. Call them right now. Call your shot. Purdue and
Michigan. I know that's a little chalky, but I just believe in it.
No, it's fine. We like chalk here. T.O., give me something bold.
Wow.
Washington to the Sweet 16.
Ooh,
oh my God!
I like it. They got so much talent, man.
Bold take. You said bold. I went bold.
Yep. Mine is
awesome.
Mine is Donovan Dent, first team All-American, UCLA by the end of the season, top 5 kind of a team, and UCLA is the team that joins Purdue in the Final Four.
Whoa, that's a bold take good one.
I love Donovan Dent, man, and I think that's the perfect fit for him. All right, listen,
there'll be like 60 people in Los Angeles who know that's happening.
Yeah,
by the way, if Maryland finishes 12th in this league, that is scary for that league. Like that is when you were breaking down.
I don't know. Buzz Williams' first year usually goes about like that.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It is currently 9:56. I promised Fanta's lovely wife we would have him out of here at 9:58. So, Fanta, get out of here. Go to your appointments. T.O., great to see you, man. This is the DTF podcast. We'll see you next week.